Choo, choo, choo. Ah, ah, ah. Choo, choo, choo. Ah, ah, ah.
That's so. Does that make people know we're about to go live?
No. What's that? From a 90s callback. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to What I Learned This Week with Fitz and Nay. Nay and Fitz, the four of us are here. And it's Friday, TGIF&F. I'm so happy that we're here. I look forward to this all week so that we can discuss the little things that we've learned that make us, supposedly make us better human beings. At least that's the goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be a better human being.
I had a lot of learning this week.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. I started to keep track. Do you do that or no?
Yeah.
Like I take notes now.
Yeah, I actually, I do take notes. Not very good notes.
I've been keeping it on the back of an envelope, but extensive, very extensive.
So
that's
good. That's good recycling on your part.
I'm
Very nice.
upcycling, exactly. So I was curious. I kind of wanted to hear. I usually start and then dominate, and I wondered if you would be interested in starting this week.
You are kind of a dominatrix.
I am a dominatrix. I'm a dominator.
What's our safe word today?
What should our safe word be?
Ecclesiasticus.
Okay, I like that.
I can start.
Okay.
I wrote it down somewhere else.
Well, while you're looking,
So-
I can say one thing just super fast.
Yeah, go ahead and say one thing.
One thing.
One thing only.
On a very three-dimensional level, I'm furious at Clinique, which you probably don't know what Clinique is, but it's a makeup company.
Yeah, I've heard tell.
Yeah, they have they dared to discontinue my most favorite product, which I would like to state. They have discontinued my water-resistant cake eyeliner in natural black, number 11.
And there's no.
I have searched all over the internet. Apparently, this is not new. It's a product that lasts a long time.
How long has it been discontinued? Just recently?
Well,
or
I don't know. The bot let me know this morning when I
no longer available?
it is regrettably water-resistant eyeliner has been retired. Fans are finding the best match with this product as the such and such next product. Not a good match. Not a good match, Clinique, and you're on my shit list. So now I got to find a new eyeliner. And
It's too bad you didn't know that was coming because you could have gone on eBay and spent like $10,000 to buy the rest of their stock and then sold it for 4 times the rate.
Last night, I first of all, somebody else beat me to it, obviously, because you can't find one. There's nothing to be found. And I found one, and it was like $110. This thing should be like $12.99. So all I was going to say is, does that ever happen to guys on products? Because I feel like it's a woman thing that we find a nail polish or a product that works, and then they're like, nope, we're taking that away from you. Does that happen to men?
So, not. I've never had a makeup discontinued for me, but
I mean, a product.
there was a chicken satay mix that Kelly and I really liked that they discontinued it, and so we found a menu, and we found the ingredients for it, and that's how I make it.
Oh, you have to make it.
I have to make it, so I make my own. Yes,
Well,
it used to be just a packet, but now.
But that's not like a specific to a man thing. That's like the discontinue. I mean, like it's not like you're like, damn, my Hanes size AB tighty whiteys. They don't make them any. Like they don't discontinue men's.
Yeah, they
items.
discontinued the Magnums I used to use in.
Is that what happened? I won't go
I
there.
once caught a fish this big. Anywho.
Okay,
No,
well,
I know that's happened to me. I just can't quite recall.
All right, well, that's
specific.
fine. I just wanted to stay on the three-dimensional level for some of our viewers because for a moment and before we drop it down into the
Wiltwa 3D.
right, before we drop into the fourth and fifth dimension. When the moon is in the seventh house.
Hey, what happened? We had 3 viewers and one of them left. Come back.
Oh, I turned them off with my eyeliner talk.
Yeah, they're like,
Come
the
back.
heck with this.
Right, girl talk. All
Girl
right.
talk.
They'll come back. So tell me about your learning this week.
Oh gosh, I had it on the tip of my tongue, and I seriously, I'm freaking blanking right now.
Did you not just consult your phone?
It's not in my phone. I wrote it in there.
Okay. I mean, do you want to take a moment to get it?
Yeah, here.
We'll
keep them
I'll keep
entertained.
Oh. No, we'll just wait a moment for Scott. I will take this moment to just tell people that I have already designed my 2022 ornament for this year, and if you haven't seen it yet, I highly encourage you to go and check it out on my RazJacobson.store website. So that's it. And he's back.
Hi. The sad thing is, it's going to be very anticlimactic that I ran to the other room to find this bullshit that I forgot.
Maybe you should write on envelopes.
I should. Okay. I probably should. So the phrase that I'm going to use is, we're in this together. We're all in this together.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is going to link to mine.
No crap.
I swear to God. Wait, hold on.
See? Divine. That's why Ecclesiasticus is our
oh my God,
safe word.
Where did I write it?
It's in the other room.
It's right here. We are all in this together. We can't go it alone. Go. You go first. Wow. Simpatico. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
if we're the first to have that thought.
Right. I know. Eureka.
We found it.
It was this week that I was just doing this, doing that, and I had a couple of people that had some problems that, if I was a nasty person, or if I was a little strict or whatever, I could have said, all right, well, I'm going to have to charge you. You did this, I'm going to have to charge you. But it was my opinion that those were circumstances that were beyond their control and wasn't their fault. And to charge them would have been poor form. It would have been, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you showed them a little grace.
I showed them a little grace. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds cheeky or whatever, but that's what it was. It was like, yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it. We'll we're in this together.
I believe that stuff is good. I actually believe that is like, see, that's 5D healing energy. And if you can afford to give someone that grace, I believe it comes back tenfold.
How many Ds are there in healing energy? Because you said 5D, and then the other thing was a 3D.
Right. Do you not know the difference?
I don't know the Ds.
Oh, we'll discuss that later.
Okay. Coming up on another episode of What I Learned This Week.
Oh, I'm going to have to send you some links. Okay. But,
please.
Some little extra reading to read up before our shows.
That's our life this year. This time now. Our life is, please send me a link.
No, we'll have a conversation. Actually, so let's stay with yours, though.
Yeah.
So are you able to be more specific about where you were able to show this grace? Was it like somebody was late on a payment, or
it was just like, canceling because of illness, canceling because of things not working out. And I'd love to say that the studio is so busy that every single time block here is, the most important thing. And if you miss it, I can't not. It's not the case.
Sure.
And I was thinking about the time when Kelly and I were engaged to be married. We had already gotten engaged. We had already put money down on a photographer and a DJ. This is down in Florida. This was 2002. And then about 3 weeks later, we found out that Sean was coming.
Oh, that's happened to me.
And so we had to decide, are we going to
make a big stink?
Are we gonna have a baby, then get married, which is what would happen, or are we gonna move the wedding up, get married kind of on the quick? Kelly had already bought a dress. We'd already put a down payment on a photographer and a DJ.
Oh wow.
We go, but as you know, this is when we were first starting out. So it's not like we had two dimes to rub together. We didn't have all kinds of money.
You put down a down payment.
And that was $1,000. And that was a lot of money in 2002. It's a lot of money now. I mean, depending on who you are, but so we went to this photographer and this DJ and we said, look, we're really, really sorry that we have to do this, but can we have our deposit back? And they emphatically said, no effing way. And they said, if you can look on your sheet that you signed, it says 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks. You have 14 days. And I swear to you, we came back on day 17 or 18. And they would not budge. And we're like, guys, we need this money now. Like, we have to, like, this is so important. You have no idea. And they're like, nope.
Wouldn't hear
we'll
it.
we'll try to fit you in if we can. And it didn't, it wasn't going to work out. And we were just like, you suck. You really suck.
Yeah.
And that's always been in my mind. Having my own business, I've always tried to remember that the other people on the other side of the transaction are human beings. And
there's got to be some kind of a relationship there, though, because I do think some people, if they know that about you,
we'll try to take advantage.
Right, they take your kindness for.
But there's a way to
take your kindness for weakness.
Right. But there's a way to avoid that, and it's
yes,
and there's a you could kind of tell by the way some people are really good at faking it, but not most. Right? Some people are really good at it, and they may get you a couple of times. But most people, when they come to you with their problem, you can tell that they're honest.
Right.
You can tell that they're legitimately upset about this or something's gone wrong, and you try to be empathetic and you try to help and make and not make the situation worse. Now, if we had gone to them and said, "We need our money back because we're going to have a kid now," or you know what I mean, we approached it in a very professional, very thoughtful. We understand that you have rules. We understand that there's a reason for this, but we're imploring you, and we're
broke.
We'll sign a contract
right.
that says that we'll re-sign with you, that we won't go with anyone else. Like whatever you need to feel better about this, and but we're like 4 days outside of the contract,
Sure,
of the deadline.
Yeah, the rigidity.
And they just was like they were like no. And they almost said it with a smirk, like no. You know how many times people do this to us? And okay, fine, that could be. That could be. Maybe lots of people, put money down and then want it back and put it down and want it back. But I feel like, I don't know. That's always been in the back of my mind.
I mean, I know I have to make those kinds of decisions sometimes too with my business, right? That the way I handle my art business, it doesn't happen like that because, I do have like a non-refundable, if someone's doing a commission, I have a non-refundable 50% deposit, which they can't get back. But if someone doesn't like the direction that I'm headed and I can't fix it and they have just lost their energy for it or their taste for it or there's something like that, then they don't have to pay the balance, that kind of thing. But I do have to get paid for my time that I've already put in. But I also try to show that kind of grace. But it does happen in my coaching part of my business where people pay in advance to reserve time. It's not different from here, right? They pay in advance to reserve time. I've held that time.
Right.
And then an hour before or, a few hours before, they let me know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't feel well. And it's very hard because a lot of what I'm doing there is dealing with people who don't feel well. And so I do try to give some grace. And so what I've come to it as I give people one opportunity to reschedule. But they have to understand that this can't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have to understand, like, I'm happy to give you grace once, but it can't be a recurring theme.
Yeah, exactly. And my neighbor next door who does the
massage.
Medical massages, she is the same way. And she's got a lot of stories about clients that habitually try to cancel or reschedule right before. And at some point, you have to do for yourself and be like, got to draw a line.
We've had a million times about boundaries, right? It's like, well, if you don't have any, people are just going to walk all over your property or walk all over you. So, but I do feel for you there. You do have such an amazing son up here, and I have to believe that if people are signing up to do something with you, they don't want to miss this time,
Right.
So hopefully,
exactly.
But I do think we do have to show some people grace. I wish more people would show grace. This is so interesting that we're having this discussion about grace because I was right when you were going to get your pad of paper with this, which I'm glad you got. I actually, do you know that my ornament my holiday ornament for 2022 this year, I had a private conversation with a friend of mine who, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but we were she shared with me a link to a Yom Kippur service that her rabbi made. This is not local. This is in New Jersey. And she shared the link, and I listened in order to create the piece of art she wanted me to create, inspired by this sermon. I had to listen to it, and it was all about the idea of grace and it's missing in the world a little bit because people are so rigid, and it just feels bad. And then it feels like such a blessing when someone gives you a little, when someone gives you that little space around something and here's your money back or here's the time or don't worry, it just feels like a breath, like, oh, thank you. And so anyway, I was very inspired by that. So this year, the 2022 ornament says we can change the world with grace. And I believe that, actually, with a little grace. You can't give it all the time, but when you can, it really does give the person a lot of peace.
So true. So true. And that idea this week, it came around. I wish I should be better at writing this down, but that theme has come through quite a few times this week with different things, different clients, different things happening, to where, and even someone showing me a little grace.
Right.
And that idea of karma.
when someone gives you a little grace, then you have the energy to extend that to someone else. That's the karma piece, right?
Yeah.
That when everyone's being terrible to you and you feel like you're getting it right, quick right and left, then you don't have that to give. But that's why I said it's healing, because if you can give that to someone, they'll be able to extend it, and that extends that peaceful, easy feeling on the planet. It really does. Yeah.
And it also sort of goes with the idea of taking the high road. And that is another thing. Teenagers, right? Teenagers, they get in relationships, and, that can cause a rift between friends when this girl starts dating this girl's ex-boyfriend, and she thought, that kind of thing. And my daughter was in a situation like that, and I told her, take the high road. Don't get drawn into this person accusing you of this, accusing you of that, because that it's not true. That none of this that she's saying is true. Always respond with grace. Always respond with a smile. Sorry you feel that way, but that's not the situation. And be nice. Never talk smack about someone else. Never fuel that fire. Don't give them any fuel to cast aspersions at you. So that was kind of...
don't get involved in something if it's not your thing to get involved in. Like, it's okay to say, that's none of my business. I don't feel comfortable talking about this. I'm not sure, how your daughter was involved or whatever, but I'm just saying sometimes it's none of our stinking business.
Right. So, this is proof positive that our little show here is at least for us.
It's good for us.
At least for us.
I love that we had sort of a similar
so
theme.
why don't you go?
So I am going to go because it really is piggybacking right off of this. So to go on to my levels here, so from previous episodes that I have been attending Tuesday night square dancing.
Oh, I forgot to put the square dancing song in.
Ding, 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 ding. Anyway, I love it. And Thursday night, 7 to 9 p.m. Actually, this upcoming week, what is happening here? I have like a sideburn. Okay, sorry. It's like a piece of hair looking weird. Okay, so sorry. Oh my gosh. This is the last week of like the training period, and then you have to decide if you're going to go to be the group is called the Copycats, and I am officially now a copy kitten. I'm a cat in training.
Okay.
All right. I'm a low pussy.
Okay.
So any whoosies, I have been going there and I'm loving it. And what I am finding is that I had this epiphany that a lot of what I am learning in square dancing can be applied to real life. And so that's what I was writing down all this week was wow. I learned here's another thing that I learned from square dancing. So I want to shoot some of these your way.
Okay.
Number one, the very first thing you do when you are starting to square dance, do you know what it is? The very first thing, just like, do you know?
Put on boots.
Oh, well, when you're in formation, and like the very first thing,
link arms? No, I don't know.
The caller always says, honor your partner.
Ah.
Right? And so like you have to look at your partner and you're supposed to like do a little bow or curtsy, right? And then they say, honor your corner, which is your neighbor, the other person, the other direction. And I was thinking about it this week and I was like, this is huge. You got to start every day honoring the person, the people in your life that are next to you, that are beside you. And in square dancing, it's not the same all the time. But so, it doesn't have to be like your monogamous partner, but honor the people that are in your surroundings.
Zen and the Art of Square Dancing by
Zen and
Raz
the Artist.
Jacobson.
I know. I was saying this should be a good blog post. Wait, then ready? When in doubt, this is you said first, when in doubt, hold hands. Like, you don't square dance. There are some moves that you do by yourself when you're like weaving. I know all the weird little calls when you're weaving the ring, but like
weaving the ring.
Right. But a lot of
list
times,
of things that sound dirty, but it's not.
Definitely not dirty at all. But you are holding hands with your partner to make sure that you stay in sync and that you're together and there's a connection there. I also learned a very common call is promenade. Mm-hmm. Promenade. And that is the importance of taking a nice walk, a nice stroll. And that is so important. Sometimes we get stuck inside and we forget that you got to go out there and take a walk. And it's even nicer if you have somebody to take a walk
along the canal.
Right. Even nicer. Nice by yourself, but even nicer if you got somebody else. Another thing is that, okay, hang on. I just got to go. Hang on. You got to be assertive and ask to participate, because if you don't, you will be sitting out on the sidelines. So, if like I don't come with a built-in partner, a lot of people are there with their spouses. But if you come by yourself, you actually have to say, I don't have a partner. Oh my God, like emotional. I don't have a partner. It's a very vulnerable moment to be like, does anyone want to dance with me? And the reality is somebody always shows up. There's always somebody who will dance with you, but you have to let them know that you have to ask for what you want, right? You have to ask for what you want. That's a big one.
Wow.
Then here's a really cool thing that I learned. There's a lot of etiquette in square dancing. You would not know this.
Where's do-si-doing come into this whole thing?
Well, that's the whole, like, you got to keep your eye on your person, be aware of their physical space. That's a whole, you don't want to bang shoulders.
Sure.
And you got to know what direction you're
Full
going
contact
in.
square dancing.
For real, like there's calls and you have to be very in the moment. Your mind cannot be thinking about something else or you will smash into somebody. So it's a very interesting thing. But the other thing I was going to say, this is really neat, and this is an etiquette thing. Since we're in the learning stages, and since life, we are always learning, there are periods in the dance where you just fall apart. Like somebody missed something, you went the wrong way, you were supposed to allemande instead of promenade, and all of a sudden you're looking at the wrong direction. I didn't sashay properly. Anyway.
Yeah, I have that problem a lot.
You didn't sashay right.
Yes.
So there's a very cool thing that happens, which is if everything has fallen apart, you go home and you wait. And there's different positions.
Fucking leave.
No, you don't go home. There's a position. Sorry, I should have been. You don't know the thing.
Well, I screwed up. See you later.
No, right, bye-bye. No, you go to your home position. So when everybody's looking at each other and we're trying to catch up, there's this understanding that you just go to your home position, which is where you started. Return to your original partner.
Gotcha.
And wait until you can pick it up. And that's very powerful learning. Like when things are falling apart, go home, take a pause. And wait. And I just love that. And then also there's things like just like when things are falling apart, laugh. Like laugh. It's funny. Just keep moving, and then go home or whatever.
It's kind of like the idea of not taking things so seriously.
You cannot be upset when that music is on. You just cannot. And so anyway, I was thinking about all these lessons and I was like, it's really important to stay open to this, like, I call this like everyday magic. I don't call it that. I mean, I'm sure other people have called it that. But like, I have so much fun at square dancing. It is just a joy, and I'm meeting so many people. And
are any of them younger than 70?
Very few.
Okay.
There's
I'm not judging. I was just asking.
Very few, but there it doesn't matter. Even this, I'm learning
Tell you
something
what,
from
there's
everybody.
so much to learn from
so wise
senior citizens and from people. I mean,
and these men can like some of them will swing you and like I don't know. There's all kinds of things, and it's like so for me. There's also that respectful physical touch. Like it is okay. Our culture is terrible about physical touch. It's like if you touch someone, it means you want to have sex with them or something, or you can't touch at all. Right? Like even in school now, you can't touch a kid. You can't it's all boundaries around that stuff. And it's like, that's not healthy either. Our vessels need some contact. And I just love that there that it's respectful. You can touch, you can twirl, or you can say, I don't want to be twirled, or I don't want that. So anyway, I'm loving all that. And I'm just finding that you got to stay open to these kinds of little moments of everyday magic when you have them, because it's these little moments that help you get through the rest of the stinking week. Like I just need to pay attention to like our little talk now. These 30 minutes get me through sometimes like a very difficult day or weekend or whatever. Like I look forward to this, and it's got me thinking about something else, about what we're going to, it's got me thinking about something else. So I don't know. It's looking forward to these little moments. And that's really what square dancing is for me. It's like built-in fun. And I can find that in a lot of places, riding horses, going snowmobiling, whatever. But it feels really fun to learn something completely new and be kind of bumbling at it a little.
Yeah.
Like when's the last time you tried something new and you just were awful at it? Really awful at it. Brand new.
I can't answer that. I have no idea.
I think most adults.
The last time I golfed, I think.
Right. And that probably feels bad because we just are awful at things when we are starting them.
But I have a whole golf story. We'll go
I'd love
into
to hear
another time.
But that's kind of my thing, is that I feel like adults, we push our kids to try something new, try a different sport, and it's like, it is hard to try something new because the definition of doing something new is you're not going to be good at it.
Right. And I think also the atmosphere and the community that you're trying this new thing in really has a lot to do with it. So your square dancing community is very welcoming, and they're very eager to help new people get
very
involved.
Very inclusive, yes.
Right, very inclusive. Whereas other places, they're like, right.
Right. And I think our culture has become more exclusive like that. Like back in the day, if you wanted to try playing baseball or taking up track in high school, you could do it.
Right. And
you didn't have to be an expert at it.
But all the other kids expect you to be awesome.
Already.
And when you're not awesome, they're like, oh, you suck, what are you doing? And then you feel like crap and you don't want to do it anymore.
Right. So when are we ever allowed to be learners, especially as adults?
And you know what? This really goes right in line with my whole situation at my other job that happened last week. Where
what the heck's your other job?
I freelance at the Blue Cross Arena for hockey.
Right. I guess I think of that as your whole
It's part of what I do, but it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got it. I didn't think about it as your other job, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I've been doing video production for just about 30 years now, and I go there, and because I'm the new guy on the team, they think I don't know shit. And some of them treat me like I don't know shit. And maybe I don't know the way they do things and their particular way of doing things, but it's not like I don't know. It's not like I'm clueless.
Right.
And that is very common in my line of work. In video production and production in general, there's always someone who's like, because it's kind of competitive.
I was just going to say, is there a lot of jockeying for that position?
It's not like there's tons and tons of jobs out there. Mm-hmm. I believe that there's always work. But when you join a new team, if the team is really cool and really inviting and welcoming, it just makes it so much better. And usually it's the younger people that aren't as inviting. It's the older people, in my experience, that are like, yeah, we've done this all before. Oh, so you're new? Yeah. So what have you done? Have you done this? Yeah. Okay. And they take your word for it.
Sure.
Whereas somebody else who's maybe
that's masking an insecurity usually, right?
So
it's like the poor sharecroppers who didn't. I won't go into the history, but like people who are at the bottom feel like they want to know where you are because you might be ahead, you might be over them.
Right.
They don't want that. They've been there longer.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I'm just trying to make some extra cash.
Right.
So, but it's the exact same thing that welcoming.
That feeling of being disrespected too when you do have a level of expertise. But even that isn't trying something new because you have the skills behind the camera. I'm saying I know what you're saying about walking into a new situation, but you do have skills there behind. But when are we allowed to be mediocre as adults? When are we allowed? You can't make a bad meal because people are mad at you.
Right,
You can't.
yeah.
You know, when can you be
So
bad?
much pressure.
When can you be bad at something?
Yeah.
Right. And so I love this because I feel like I'm a student again, and they are allowing us the grace to be bad at it.
That's awesome.
Look how I brought that round.
I love it.
It gave us the grace to be bad.
Well done.
And it's lovely. And I want to just give this little plug here.
Oh, yeah,
because
please.
I did make a fun little, I don't know if people can see it.
Yeah.
A fun little painting that I'm going to do. It's just the sketch right now. But see, it says life lessons from square dancing. Honor your partner, greet your neighbor. When in doubt, hold hands, laugh, have fun, and just keep musing. And you can't go it alone.
That's awesome.
Because you can't go it alone in a square. You can't have.
Is that going to end up being for sale on your site?
It's going to be something at some point. I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to
That's
do
great.
something with it. Eventually, it'll be available.
I love that.
Yeah, so I just thought it was inspiring to me. And, I take my inspiration from life. So I just started thinking about it, and that's why I started making my little notes on my envelope about all the different lessons about what I'm learning from square dancing. And if you don't mind me saying one other thing, this piggybacks on something that you said, and I wrote it. I started to write it down when you said it. About when people cancel, like you say, that giving them the grace.
Yeah.
Sometimes people cancel.
Yeah.
Do you find though that sometimes when someone cancels, then that gives you space? Like
Sure.
Right? You're like, that opened up.
That's the upside.
Right.
That's always the upside. Like, I don't have to do that today.
Right. I got 2 free hours
Right.
or whatever you got
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the place is clean, right?
Right. It's sparkling in here, I must say.
I went top to bottom yesterday because I had the extra time, and I went and just completely reorganized and cleaned, and it was just and it felt great.
Yeah, and was that because of this cancellation that gave you that time? So I was just going to say, this is the other thing that I learned about square dancing, which I'm applying right now to what we were just saying, is there's always a caller at a square dance. And the caller is the person who's like on, or, they're the person talking.
See, that's what I want to do.
Be the caller?
I want to call.
You would be a great caller, but you'd have to learn all the
You got to learn.
moves.
Yeah, you can't
it's
just
a lot.
call.
You can't
blind.
just call. So, but the caller at the Coffee Cats out at Scribner Road Elementary School.
Shout out.
All right, he's great. His name's Ron, and he. What I learned about the caller is really paying attention to what everybody needs and the ability level, and he can see when everyone's falling apart, or if it's just that one lame circle over there, that one lane square over there. And he's really like the mastermind of the whole thing. And there are times when he has to reteach things, and times where he has to actually go over to a group. And anyway, you get what I'm saying. So when what I've learned about like the caller, the idea of being a caller, the other thing that I realized this week is one of the things I love most about square dancing is the connection. I am meeting new people, but you don't have to be stuck with them all night. You can move around. It's really a great networking thing. And I had a situation just last night where somebody canceled on me, right? We were supposed to go out to dinner together, and frankly, she completely blew me off. She had a date and forgot she double booked, and then she apologized or whatever. I gave her grace, and then I was like, I got an evening off. This is great. Like, not that I would have gone out with her and had a great time too, but and as it happened, I had time to call another friend who I hadn't talked to in a while, and at the end of our very good conversation, she said, "Why in the world don't we do this more often? Why are people not calling each other anymore?" And I felt that. I miss talking to people. Remember when now you call people like, when can we schedule a call?
Yeah, that has happened. But I still have people that are a little old school.
That'll just call you
that
out
just
of the blue.
call out of the blue. And I think in our generation that's still cool, and it's the younger generation.
They will not have it.
It's like they'll not answer the phone and then text you back and say,
"I'm busy.
What's going on?"
Right. Is everything okay?
Yeah,
and it's a very big rift there.
Yeah.
And I was really thinking about it, this disconnection, that it started with humans being right next to each other. And then I think I said this to you, or if not you, I've said this before. Then humans invented the wheel so we could like roll away from each other and not look back in your caravan. I hate you, and I'm gone, or whatever. Wow. And you roll away. And then we developed airplanes where you could go even further. And then there's then we got telephones, and you could listen to somebody. You could talk to somebody two-way. And now we're at texting, which is just at your convenience. It's not even in real time. There's not even a flow sometimes. You can respond whenever you feel like it. And that is a real disconnect. And so it was shocking to me that my friend, or not that it wasn't shocking that she said it, but it jolted me. And I was like, yeah, I don't call people anymore because I feel like I'm bothering them. And we wonder why mental health issues are skyrocketing, because you don't feel like you can pick up the phone to call a friend because you might be bothering them. I'm not surprised that we have major anxiety and depression and stuff when you don't feel like you can act. It's called a phone. A phone. You can pick up your phone to call your people. And I hesitate too, and I'm sure if I do. And then I actually put something on my Facebook page at one point, and I said, like, who of my friends likes to actually talk on the phone? And people were very negative. I hate the phone. I was really surprised by that. So for me, I guess, as a person who likes to connect, and you're a connector too, I'm loving this square dancing thing. It is putting something back into my life, some elements of surprise, some learning, some connection that I clearly have been starving for. And I guess I'm just saying today, I'm encouraged. I guess my takeaway from what I learned this week is do not be afraid to step outside your comfort zone, way out your comfort zone. And like you said, to try an activity or a community that appeals to you. And if it doesn't work, try another thing, because this is not my first try at something, and this is sticking. I like this. I want to be an 80-year-old square dance girl.
Well, good thing you got.
I'm digging it.
30 years.
I think
or whatever.
you and Kelly should come. Well, you can't now. You have to wait till 2023 now.
Oh, it's all over?
Well, it's not over, but see, this was a training month.
Oh, okay. So we
now
can't.
It's perfected.
Yeah, it's like open enrollment. You can only get it.
There was a month of open enrollment, and I'm not kidding. They took us aside the other day, and we thought we were getting in trouble. They're like, all the new people out here.
School circle now.
Right. But it was cool, and they gave us all the information about how this is gonna go down. See how it's gonna go down. See, you're gonna come every Tuesday, and you're gonna start paying $5 a week. It's fun.
Gold mine.
Anyway, that's my learning. Anything else you have to tack on to our life?
Nope, I don't. It was a great week. I had a fantastic week. It had its ups and downs, but overall, I'm happy with how the week played out. I got a great weekend planned for me.
What you doing?
And we're just doing stuff. And
I'm going to see my family and
you
my
going
parental units.
Into Cuse.
Going to see my parents about an hour away.
So cool.
Yay, look at us. We even had the same good week at the same time.
There you go.
It was a good
there
week.
you go. And we learned the same thing, which
We
is
did.
kind of weird.
I love that. So I guess maybe that's why we're friends. I don't know, because we are on the same trajectory with our learning. So it's neat.
So if you haven't already, make sure you like our new What I Learned This Week page. That's where we're going to be broadcasting from. As of right now, we're still broadcasting on all the pages, but eventually it's going to only be on the What I Learned This Week page so that we can kind of
consolidate.
Yeah,
our
consolidate.
viewership. Yeah.
So, but that's it for this week. It's always a pleasure, and we'll catch you next time on What I Learned This Week live.
Out.